You won't believe what happened in my neighborhood. An 8-year-old girl was struck in the head with a bat by a man pretending to be an HOA cop. And the worst part was he had no idea who her father was. But he was about to find out. Before we dive in, comment which country you're watching from because I want to see how far this story travels. It started on a quiet Saturday morning while I was out front working on my yard when I noticed a man pacing around in a black vest with bold white letters that read HO, a cop. At first glance, he looked official, clipboard in hand, radio clipped to his shoulder. But something didn't sit right. He had no marked vehicle. His vest looked cheap, and the patch on his chest had frayed edges like it came from an online costume store. His name, I later learned, was Derek Miles. He wasn't part of any HOA board and certainly not law enforcement. He was just a bitter man who had taken it upon himself to police the neighborhood, handing out fake citations and harassing families. That morning, Derek's attention turned to the Sanchez family across the street. Their little girl, Maria, just 8 years old, was riding her bike in front of the house, pink helmet bobbing as she laughed and tried to keep her balance. She wasn't bothering anyone, just enjoying her weekend, but Derek stormed up barking about trespassing on community property. I froze with my shovel in hand, watching it escalate. Her father, Daniel Sanchez, wasn't home yet, and her mother was inside with their baby. Maria tried to ride away, scared and confused, and that's when Derek snapped. He yanked a bat from the bed of his truck and swung it, not at her bike but at her head. The crack echoed down the street as Maria toppled to the ground, blood trickling down her temple. Neighbors screamed. I dropped the shovel and ran, but Derek didn't even flinch. He puffed out his chest like some tough guy, shouting about HOA authority and how the rules would be obeyed. By the time paramedics were called and neighbors crowded around, Derek was still scribbling on his clipboard like this was routine. He didn't notice Daniel's black truck roaring down the street. He didn't realize the man he had crossed wasn't just Maria's dad. He was a decorated detective with the county sheriff's department, someone who didn't take kindly to criminals, especially ones who laid a hand on his little girl. Daniel's truck screeched to a stop, tires burning black streaks into the pavement. He jumped out before the engine cooled, badge clipped to his belt, his face carved with rage. He pushed past neighbors and dropped to his knees beside Maria as paramedics lifted her carefully onto a stretcher. He grabbed her limp hand and whispered, "Daddy's here, baby girl. You're going to be okay." When he stood, his entire presence shifted. He wasn't just a father anymore. He was a detective whose daughter had just been assaulted. His eyes locked on Derek, who still clutched the bat like a trophy. "Drop it," Daniel ordered, his voice low but sharp enough to cut through the chaos. Derek sneered. "I'm acting under HO authority. That kid was breaking the rules." I had every right. Before the words left his mouth, Daniel lunged, twisting the bat from Derek's grip and shoving him against his truck. "You laid hands on my daughter?" Daniel growled inches from his face. "You think some vest and clipboard make you the law? You're nothing but a criminal." Neighbors gasped, phones recording every second. Derek tried to puff himself up, insisting he was enforcing, but Daniel pulled his badge from his belt and slammed it into Derek's chest. "You should be scared because I'm not just her father. I'm Detective Daniel Sanchez, and you just assaulted a child, my child." Deputies, arriving on scene, moved fast when Daniel barked, "Cuff him now." Derek thrashed, shouting he was HOA and had rights, but Daniel leaned close, his voice a razor. "You're not HOA. You're a fraud in a costume vest. The only right you've got now is the right to remain silent." The crowd erupted, mothers and fathers who had been harassed by Derek finally speaking up. Under federal law, impersonating an officer is a crime, and striking an 8-year-old with a bat is felony assault with a deadly weapon. Daniel made sure the deputies logged every phone recording and neighbor statement. Charges stacked: fast assault, impersonation, child endangerment, obstruction. Within hours, Derek Miles was booked, bail denied,